I would like to announce that I'm not standing for the MCA party election post as the president of MCA. I must take this opportunity to thank all the MCA leaders and comrades for giving me the encouragement and support. I make this decision based on the following factors. I'm very frank that to win the party election and becoming the president of MCA is the easy part. The more difficult part, which is a big challenge, is how to turn MCA and transform MCA into an effective opposition party. Bearing in mind, this is the first time that MCA became an opposition party 61 years after independence. And number two, how can we transform MCA until we regain the confidence and support of our own member and the voters? I feel that I'm happily retired nearly 5 years. So this challenging job should be another leader or other leader to come and hold the responsibility. So in other words, to cut short, I make this decision based on the fact that I love the party more than I love the presidency. If I'm a selfish guy, I quickly go and fight. I win, but they become a meaningless victory to me. I also like to express that I feel disappointed with Dato Sri Liao Tong Lai, the president of MCA, and the deputy president, Dato Sri Wee Ka Siong. For the simple reason, for the last 5 years, they have a lot of opportunity to transform the party. Unfortunately, as somebody who has been in the MCA for nearly 30 years, I do not see any change. So transformation to these two leaders became just a political slogan, a political gimmick to sound good and look good, but fundamentally no change. And what is worse, they have lost touch with MCA grassroots and voters. Why do I say so? One, before the election, when the anti-establishment feeling was so high, so strong, everybody on the street will tell you that they want to change the government. They go and report to say and openly say that Chinese support for BN and MCA is increasing every day. It's 30% Chinese support. In reality, 509, our Chinese support is less than 10%. Two, they say MCA is very united. Today, MCA is very strong. Today, MCA is no faction. I have said before, MCA members are all very good and loyal. They are just tired. They are politically fatigued. They lost heart. They lost interest because the party had no function and no change, no direction and no change. And that does not mean if they are keeping quiet, that does not mean they are united. Three, the worst is to report to the Prime Minister and tell all the MCA leaders that we are confident of winning 7 plus 5 and with luck another 3, 15. At the end, we won 1 plus 2. And these 3 seats, I'd like to congratulate the candidate for winning, at least to keep the flag of MCA flying. These 3 candidates won. 3 seats together do not even more than 1,000 votes, the majority. They also not only avoid, they have this talent above this leader. They have lost touch and they try to avoid all major issues. A very good example is before the election, everybody knows that the cost of living going up, inflation going up. UMNO leaders openly use religion, race as a political tool to fish for vote. There was a 1MDB scandal, the Felda scandal, the Mara scandal. These two leaders choose not to address this issue. In their public speeches, they talk only what? They talk about the China One Belt, One Road. Until a lot of members just got fed up of it. Why are our leaders not addressing national issue of concern to us? Why are you going to talk about something that is happening in China? Until people just not only do not support MCA, they just hate MCA and hate BN. And this talent of avoiding major issue is also now in display. Avoiding major issues. I would say Liao Donglai and Wee Ka Siong are very talented people who can know how to avoid major issues. One I've said in Mandarin just now is whether MCA should remain in UMNO as part of the BN. Once upon a time, the BN has 13 parties. I call it mega BN. Today, the BN becomes a mini BN with 3 parties. And when the reporter asked him recently, Liao Donglai says something which to me very illogical. In Malay, so tak masuk akal. Doesn't enter the brain. He say, oh, MCA may sack UMNO.
Itu kena keluar daripada Barisan Nasional.
What are you talking about? Under the constitution of BN, in order to accept any new party or sack any party, it has to be a unanimous decision of all the 3 parties. Whether MCA got the consent of MIC to sack UMNO or not. Number 2, how to sack UMNO? When you only have 1 MP, UMNO, despite the people jumping ship, still have 49 MP. And whether you like it or not, UMNO is still the biggest political party in the country. Why make life so difficult to sack UMNO from BN? Why can't you leave BN? Why do you want to address this issue, which is of major concern to all MCA members? Finally, is this cooperation of PAS and UMNO. I admit, I said before when I was the president, if PAS and UMNO cooperate to implement hudud or table hudud, MCA will leave the BN. But today, you notice that PAS leader went and campaigned for our leader, our candidate in the Balakong by-election. And our leader went and campaigned for PAS candidate in another by-election. You see, whether you like it or not, Malaysians today want to embrace party or government that practice moderation, that wants diversity, that will not use religion and race as a political tool. They will reject MCA if MCA cooperate with UMNO, with PAS. And PAS work with UMNO, and MCA work with UMNO within BN. You see, there are people who MCA don't understand, and they talk about DAP working with PAS. That was a different political scenario. In the 308 election and 505 general election, the Chinese tolerated DAP working with PAS because they just hated BN, hated UMNO, and they want to change the government. Anybody also, as long as you succeed in changing the government, they are happy. So they accepted DAP working with PAS. Today, DAP is politically very clever and cunning. No more PAS. Never step near PAS and never let any PAS leader come near to them. And in the Balakong election, our deputy president said, oh, the Chinese support for MCA candidate went up. Now the question is, we have 7,500 members in Balakong, but our candidate received less than 4,000. And that must include Malay and Indian voters also. Where have the other Chinese voters from MCA gone to? Any responsible party leadership would want to go further than this to address the issue why our members are not supporting our candidate.